A warm welcome to you all. This week's meditation, I'm hoping to help us reflect where we are in our current faith journey during Lent. Whether you've had time to stop, listen and reflect and think about where you are and what you wanted to achieve through this Lent. Have you given yourself time and space to pray, to be closer to God, to be still and to be quiet? And for many of us who have busy lives, it's very hard just to take time out for ourselves and time to pray. So it will help us to look at what Jesus did. And when Jesus went to Gethsemane, he actually took time out to pray. And it's interesting that he wanted his disciples to be awake and to be there for him. But he did want to take time and he wanted to pray and he wanted to reflect and prepare himself for his next steps and for the things that he needed to do to continue on the journey. He sweated blood. He was showing visible signs of anxiety and stress because he knew what he had to do. And sometimes when we have a busy life, when we've got so many things on, we can carry that stress and that anxiety, and sometimes we don't take time to reflect to see what the cause is or whether our bodies or minds need a rest. So Jesus reminds us that it's good to take time out. It's good to put time aside to pray, to reflect, to be with our friends. Jesus wanted his apostles awake with him. He was his colleagues, they were his friends, they travelled with us. So when we need time, sometimes we need to ask friends to sit with us, to be there for us. And my question is, do you need time? Have you taken time with your friends, colleagues to sit, listen and reflect? And what do you do when you feel stressful, when you need time out? How do you slow yourself down? It's very hard when we keep busy and we don't take time out. We can get exhausted. We can become irritable and impatient. But it's important that we take time for ourselves to reflect. Lent's a really good season for doing that, for taking time, for praying for others, for praying for ourselves, for discerning our next steps. And so it's important that we make time to be close to God, to listen to God and to listen to ourselves. So what's your position this Lent? Have you stopped? Have you reflected? Do you need to slow down? Do you need to take care of yourself? And just as Jesus went to Gethsemane and he asked the apostles to pray, he also went to a wedding, Cana. And what did he want there? He wanted to celebrate. He wanted people to enjoy themselves. And sometimes taking time out might be for something pleasurable. It might be to bring some joy into your life, to have some fun times with your friends, share a coffee, read a book and share your thoughts. It's about doing things that are for you, that help you grow as a person. Jesus also took time out to meet the Samaritan woman, to meet someone new. Although he knew her life story, she didn't know that. And Jesus made time to meet with her and to have a conversation and restore her and find a way for her. So when we take time for ourselves or we take time out with our friends, it helps us grow. It helps us listen to God. Are we like the Samaritan woman? Do we need to hear God's encouragement, God's plan for our lives? Do we need to have fun and go to a wedding, go to a party, be with our friends and enjoy? Or do we need to sit with a friend and take time out and have someone listen to us? Or do we need time on our own to reflect what our own needs are? Sometimes we don't know what our needs are until we listen or we talk to someone. But if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxious, and if you worry, sometimes it's hard to take time out, to give yourself that space to breathe and listen to that small, still voice of God. So Jesus reminds us that it's good to take time out. And Jesus took time out of his mission. He took time out of his mission because he met Lazarus. And he met Lazarus and he healed him. And then later on, he took time out when he went to, when he raised him from the dead. And so Jesus changed his plans. And so are you able to change your plans to meet needs of others, to meet needs of yourself? And so God gives us so many examples in Jesus to how we can do things to care for ourselves and for others and to meet other people's needs as well. So taking time out and reflecting is a really positive thing to do. The other example is Jesus took 40 days. 40 days he went into the desert to prepare himself. Now, I know that we can't necessarily go and take 40 days in the desert, but can we take 40 minutes? Can we take 40 minutes to care for ourselves? 40 minutes to make time for our friends? 40 minutes to take time to care for others? 40 minutes to meet other people? 40 minutes to have fun? So this Lent, my meditation is about, can you take time for yourself, for your friends, for others, for that 40 minutes to see what you can do or what you need to do and help you grow and mature in your faith. I want to end by reading something from Asclepius, chapter 3. For there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Throw away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, time to keep and time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. For he has made everything suitable for its time. Move over. He has a sense of your past and your future into their minds, yet they cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. If you take 40 minutes for yourself, you might find out what God is calling you for, what you need within your own physical and mental health, what your friends need, and if you need to take a break from maybe caring and have some fun. But I pray for you all this day that you can all find 40 minutes for yourself. God bless.